So this is my first video, sort of a video log, a diary, reflections and insights I get by putting into practice what I say on the Playful Monk website, Explore, Play, Love. And so yesterday I was invited to a college in London as part of my interfaith work with AFAN, All Faiths and None, to go to a spiritual fair. So I had to travel up from the south coast in England by train. And as we got halfway through this journey, the train conductor announced that the train was cancelled and that we'd have to get off and get onto another train. So we did that halfway through, and that was quite stressful. People were worried about whether they were going to get there on time. And so I was squeezed onto the train, and as I squeezed into the train, I was actually surrounded by two young children in prams. And as I walked on, one of the young ones grabbed my robe and started pulling on it, and I looked down and we made this connection, and we, I think, both shared in this playful attitude. And so I looked at the mum, if you like, for permission to speak, and so we did. So me and this little one started to play, and it was really interesting to reflect on and see the way young ones, maybe he was 4 or 5, maybe a bit younger, just was able to connect without judgment, and how he was able to express his emotions very vocally, and yet his mother was worried about that upsetting other people on the train. But for me it was a delight, and so I had this lovely journey up to Bracknell. And at Bracknell I was invited in the college to go to the spiritual fair, something I don't particularly really enjoy doing, actually. It's you go there and you're sort of somehow supposed to promote yourself and promote the charity AFAN. And so I arrived and there was two tables there, and I was supposed to sit behind it along with a lot of other religions and no religions, humanists, Christian, Muslims, Rastafarians, and actually another Buddhist. And so I decided that I wasn't going to do that. I was going to move the tables to the side and just sit on the chairs. So I sat down and I realised actually I really didn't want to be there, and I thought I was wasting my time. And so as I noticed this, I thought, what happens if I just choose to say yes to the situation? So internally I made this yes and opened, if you like, opened my heart to what was going on. And then what I noticed was there was a joy and a smile on my face, and I saw the students coming and going, and although there was no particular interactions between me and the students or me and the staff, there was a joy there. And about halfway through this session, a young man and his friend walked over, and he asked me, why am I a monk? And I spoke to him about a monk's life, a Buddhist monk's life, about moderation, why one moderates one's behaviour to bring joy. What would you give up in order to have happiness in your life? And so we went on like this, and he spoke about his experience of being a student and life. And then he told me, would you like to read one of my poems? And I said I would. And so he pulled out this poem, and I'd like to read to you this poem because it really touched me. It's called Perspective. The sun rises in the morning just for me. The sun is my father, my mother, my sister, my brother, my friend. The sun brings me light so I can see, brings me warmth to comfort me, provides me life so I can eat. The sun does all of this for me so I can see the world in all of its spectacular glory. But it is at night when the sun shows me wisdom, as this teaches me that I only see with my eyes. For when he sits, I am without my family, I am without my friends, without warmth and light, I am cold and without sight. But only through the sun's parting am I blessed with the beauty of the cosmos. All the stars, galaxies and planets are before me to see. This puts life into perspective. Life is natural and beautiful, and the sun does all this for me. The next one, there's one other poem. It says, to be natural. There is no truth through the external senses. To believe is to live an illusion a mental delusion manifested in the physical realm. To be true is to be natural. This is unity. There is nothing better than this, as this is to be at one, body, mind and spirit. This cannot be achieved through the external. Respect the physical realm. Do not rely or become attached to this. You must praise yourself, and through the marriage of your body, mind and spirit, you will be as one. This is close to God. Heaven and hell are states of mind. Your body will reflect your mind. If you think sad, you will be sad. Think happy to be happy. Your spirit is freedom. It is liberty and independent. This is your divinity, your sovereignty. No one, not even God, has authority over this, unless you let this evil in and believe that people have ownership of you. This is not natural, as this hurts. What is pure, your spirit, your free will. Freedom is not free. It comes at a high cost to the mind. But we choose how to think. If we are wise and strong, we cannot be hurt. The mind exists to protect the body, and the body to protect the mind. Through this marriage, we get the Holy Trinity, union, peace, and love. To be free is to take ownership of your life and to be accountable for your actions. Obedience is the sin of free will, freedom and liberty. Don't give yourself to obedience, as this is not natural and it hurts the spirit. The body houses the spirit. We must keep this clean and natural. This is the temple of Solomon, the temple of the soul. This is to be natural, how we were born to be. So I asked this young man, his name is Andrew, I said, do you have a particular religion, a worldview, a faith, a belief? He said no. I smiled. And so we just finished off with in this conversation about being a monk and life and physics, with this sense of encouragement. You know, I asked him, why did you come up to me? He said, I've got curiosity, I'm curious. And I just said, that's fantastic. So sometimes we can have all sorts of ideas about perception about young people, about events. But when we open up to the situation, maybe it's different. Thank you.